in the house, and this is a very short video. Hopefully you will like this video. As you see me in scrubs, I just have a couple minutes here to talk to you guys, and this isn't gonna be medically oriented, but it's a video that I believe is important for anyone that is basically going out of their safe place, which is their home or neighborhood. So I want to talk about this one because I just saw a video, I have it right here on my phone, from Dr. Cellini, which is a doctor influencer, which he recently went with his wife to Barcelona, got assaulted and robbed. Thank God they are fine. But in the comment section, I see people saying, talking about my hometown, Costa Rica, and they're like, oh yeah, I went to Costa Rica and we got robbed. And I think about it and it's no surprise to me. It's no surprise because I see this happen all too often. So the reason I feel inclined to make this video is because if you look at me, I don't look Costa Rican. If you go to Costa Rica, if you go to Central America, I don't look like our national product. I don't look Costa Rican at all because I have some descendancy. Is it descendancy? Yeah, whatever. My grandparents from Europe and the whole thing. But if I talk in Spanish, real quick, you'll be, if you're Costa Rican, you know I'm Costa Rican, and the way I might act and the cultural habits I have are also going to be Costa Rican. So now I'm living in the States, so I've been able to see different cultures, different places. So I think I have a couple of good recommendations for you seeing this. So without further ado, I'll just summarize it in one single sentence, which is, even if you are a tourist, do not act like a tourist. That will summarize the whole video and might even be the title for this video. So I look like a tourist in Costa Rica, but I've never been robbed, never been assaulted, and yeah, that's not that frequent nowadays. There's a whole lot of people, I don't know these statistics, but I could say that 1 out of every 4 to 5 of my friends have been robbed at some point in time by now. And several things play a factor into this. So of course, I am privileged in the sense that I drive my own car. That reduces the risk of you having to go through public transportation. And yeah, that's part of it. And I also, that's going to be the main one, I guess. But what other things or variables have helped me get out of these situations, which of course can predispose to bodily harm or even death? So it's just looking like a tourist. I cannot change that, but not acting like one. So what do I mean by that? It means being smart. So if I'm in Costa Rica and I'm in a place that it looks sketchy, right? And I'm just there waiting in line to buy something, right? I went into this supermarket in another province, a rural area, and there's these weird looking people out of the supermarket, and they look like they might be ready to rob someone. Believe me, they'll choose whoever looks like the easier target. And the tourist is usually the easy target. Why is the tourist the easy target? It's because usually you don't have many people around. It's not like, oh, if we rob this person, he'll call his friends, or he'll have this person, or someone's waiting for them in the car around the corner. Or usually the tourist is there alone. They aren't able to communicate as well or effectively to ask for help. They might not resist being robbed so much because the language impairment will even make it easier for the robber to take their stuff, etc., right? They don't know the boundaries or what are the cultural norms as well as the people who live there. So a robber might actually be like playful. You've seen it in videos from India and other places that the robber starts to grab the lady's purse and pull it like playfully to see if she lets it go, and if she doesn't, then rips it off. You won't do that. Two Indians won't do that, because if one Indian is grabbing the purse from another Indian, they'll be like, immediately they'll like smack them in the face or start running or do whatever necessary. Okay, so it's basically not act like the tourist. So when I'm in line in this province, rural area, and they're looking at me and they're thinking to themselves, this might be the target. This guy looks like a tourist. You have to act fast. You have to think about the environment. And that sometimes I would just break the silence and I would talk in Spanish, and I would be like, ¿Qué mai pura vida? Just that single phrase I said in Spanish, anyone who is Costa Rican will be like, this guy is Costa Rican. You cannot use the accent the way I just used it, being from the United States. You have to at least have lived several years in Costa Rica to say, what's up, man? All good? Like pura vida, which is our phrase, pura vida. So that's that. You don't have to act, you shouldn't act like a tourist. You have to show them you are aware of the environment, right? Without being like I'm ready to punch you if you get in my personal space, but being like, I'm seeing you, right? You might be with your phone right here, but there's some guys over there. You should make them know, right? I know that you're over there, and you might just move 1 or 2 steps here, look to the other side, and be ready to escape. Or that at least tells the robbers, like, this person is aware. So the robber will go for the easy target. Whoever is the easiest to get robbed, they don't want to exert more energy than necessary, right? They don't want to get into a problem that they might risk injury as well. So I see a whole lot of US citizens in Costa Rica. They get there, they get off the plane with these huge, the backpacks that goes up above your head and almost to your ass. Those sort of backpacks aren't something that Costa Ricans use. We don't even have easy access to those backpacks. Those backpacks that are huge cost like $200 or more, and for a Costa Rican that would cost almost $400. So we usually find no use having those backpacks. With you just having that backpack, walking around in Costa Rica, people know you're a tourist. People know you're an outsider, so you might be an easy target. So that's something, for example, that if you're you get off the plane, you get to the hotel, don't keep on holding that backpack to go to the supermarket and go another place before you come back to the hotel. Go leave that backpack over there, change your clothes, like see how the people are dressing if you didn't do any research online, and try to become transparent. Try to become one of them. Because the less you attract attention, the less you will catch others' eyes. So the less probability that those guys on that motorcycle will actually see you with this short skirt and red top, if that makes any sense. Okay, so watch out and adapt to wherever you are. Because the priority number one, like it or not, is preserve life. So if preserving your life means sort of adapting to this new culture or this new place you're going, I believe most of us would be fine with it, because unless you have active suicidal ideation, where I hopefully you aren't going through that. And if you're going through that, please call your family and friends, because that's going to be very important. So don't try to merge into the society or wherever you are in. After that, I would say it's important to always be respectful. Try to respect the culture you are in. Do not try to impose your own culture into a place that has had this culture for several hundreds of years or decades. That's not going to work. You're going to end in trouble. And be your own self. If you have to be your own self in a hotel room, and that means preserving your life, that might be a good idea. For example, I recently saw a video of some people who were traveling in India on a motorcycle. They went to a place which was very sketchy from the start, around midday, and they were like harassed by some people there in that area. They left, and they came back at night to place their tent right at that same spot. Guess what? These people that had assaulted or harassed them came back at night and raped the girl, and well, thank God both of these persons survived. And I know hindsight is always 20/20, but I'm saying if you see red flags, you should act, and there should be actions followed by cues, right? So if there are red flags, pay attention to them. Sometimes your gut feeling should be like, we shouldn't be here. Actually, this couple, these two persons, the girl was saying on the videos, because they were recording most of their trip, she was already like, I'm not sure about going into this place. They were on a motorcycle, 2 different motorcycles. I'm not sure. And she told her husband or her boyfriend, and he was like, no, everything's gonna be fine. Sometimes it's better just to be extra careful. Even if you're trying to save money, sometimes spending a couple $100 in a hotel is gonna make more sense than not saving that money and ending up in a very harmful situation. So make sure, you're not acting like a tourist. If you are traveling to Costa Rica, make sure you are not walking around at night where not even Costa Ricans would walk around. How will you know this? Well, look around, right? Look around. If you see that no one's walking around and everyone's staring at you, and you're like, and that person over there is shoeless, and the other one is snorting something and looking weird at you, and you see some motorcycles that are beeping at you when they pass, time to get out of there. Time to get out of there. So I've seen all these tourists in Costa Rica that I'm like, man, this is a problem waiting to happen. I wouldn't walk there. Why are they walking there? And I've had to stop my car and tell them, like, you're risking it. So just so you know, I wouldn't walk here at this time of night. I'm just telling you, I know it's none of my business, but you're risking it. They might appreciate it, they might not appreciate it, but in the end, you did your moral duty of letting them know. Okay, so now I'm not living in Costa Rica. For now, I'm living in the US, and actually right now I'm visiting Virginia, first time. And do I think I am risking it here? No, because I know for example, yesterday I went downtown. I had no idea how the city is, so I'm driving downtown. Would I walk all over downtown? No, to be honest, I wouldn't, unless I have a good plan of how to defend myself. So I'm driving downtown. So yeah, I do trust that I know how to drive. The car is in good condition. All that. I'm driving downtown and through these sketchy areas, and I'm like, I'm waiting for this light to turn green, because this isn't a nice place. So I'm just thinking to myself, this is a place I wouldn't even walk at this time of day, 6 p.m. So where did I go? I went to the place and parked my car where everyone was walking their dog, looking at the sunset, chilling, looking at their phones. And that's the place I parked my car. That's the place I just went, walked, and all that, using common sense. There's no place in the world, I guess, you will be walking and you can just forget altogether about the environment and be like, oh, nothing will happen here. No, every place you go will have some spots that are extremely dangerous. This isn't a matter of Costa Rica. This isn't a matter of Latin America. This is a matter of common sense. Of course, most places in the most wealthy countries in the world will have a whole lot more of safe places, right? That's why if you go to Costa Rica, you will be probabilistically in a place that will be riskier than if you are any place in the United States. But there are places in the United States also known as the Iraq of the United States, right? And there are nice places. Chicago has, I think it's called the Afghanistan of the United States, or that's like a popular lingo, I guess. But there's a section of Chicago, I think the north part is very nice. South part is very risky, horrible. If I'm incorrect, correct me. Haven't even been there. I'm just using the example. I'm just saying use your common sense and take care of yourself, and be sure to, when you get out of home, have your cell phone charged. If you have to share live address, live location, do that. Even if you're, sometimes you can even start a call with your family and tell them like, hey, I have to pass through this part, I have no way out, this is a risky thing, I know we have live location on, but let's just leave the call there and you just listen on the other line, because yeah, it's just my gut feeling, and it's just to be safe. And hopefully nothing happens, but you have to be on top of things. You can't live through life assuming you'll never be prone to harm and injury by others, because you won't know till it happens. So just try to prevent it. And that's it on this one. Hope you liked it. Hope this actually helps you on future experiences out of your home, and see you in the next one.